Yes, the Reds. It's the Anfield Wrap post-match pint. After Liverpool 4, Leverkusen 0. A great night at Anfield in the Champions League. I'm Neil Dockin here with Beth, Lindop, Phil Blundell. We learnt a lot of things tonight, Phil. We learnt that no one does half-time team talks quite like Arne Slot. We learnt that when Mohamed Salah tells you a goal is onside, it's onside. We learnt that when Ibu Kante tells you you're not getting past, you're not getting past. And we learnt that Man City can't stop losing, and the Reds, they just can't stop winning.
Well, on the penultimate, I was going to say the last thing you added a little bit in. I was going to the penultimate bit. I was thinking on the way out about how feral that ground will be on Saturday night if they get beat on Saturday, but that's for a variety of other shows over the next few days. We'll get to that. We'll talk about how good Liverpool were tonight. I think the bit about half time was really interesting because we're in the early days, this manager, and we're still trying to work out what's going on, how he thinks, how he approaches things. And I'm half wondering if his first half plan at the minute is just ensure nothing happens. Try and make sure nothing happens, get to half time. But in that 45 minutes, you can watch and see where they have got something going on that you can exploit, and where there's a weakness and where you can make an adjustment and exploit it. And that's basically what happened tonight. I don't know whether it was the first half was by intent. That's sort of what I mean about we're still trying to work this out because we don't quite know what it looks like. But we came out after half time. Curtis Jones' ball for that first goal. It's absolutely sensational.
What a pass.
But he got into a position he wasn't in at any stage in the first half. Received the ball.
We were higher, weren't we?
Exactly. Received the ball in a position he wasn't in first half. I thought we came out after half time. We were 10 yards higher. We were 5 metres quicker. Everything about us was filled with more intent. And it was a bit like they'd gone, all right, okay, we know what these are. We know what we are. We know what we can do. We know what they can't do. And we're going to do that. We carried it off to the absolute letter. I thought the second half was as good as I've seen a Liverpool team for years, genuinely.
It's a fascinating trend at the moment, Beth. Phil talked about where, perhaps early in the season we were starting games really well and then sometimes getting to, 2-0 ahead or a 2-goal lead, and then nothing was happening, seeing them out. And it's been the reverse the last few weeks where we are starting pretty slowly, and they were confident, Leverkusen. They kept passing it really well, moving it around. I was impressed with them on the ball, but they weren't really hurting us. And you've got one goal that's ruled offside. Apart from that, they never looked really threatening, and then second half we picked them apart.
Yeah, I thought the game started quite well. I thought the first 10 minutes there was a nice tempo about it. Both teams looked up for it, and then it was just a little bit of a war of attrition then, wasn't it, toward the end of that first half. But second half, it was incredible. I mean, I suppose that was one of the big hallmarks of Jurgen Klopp's tenure at Liverpool, wasn't it? That ability to be able to turn things around in the second half. And, it's the same crop of players, so they're used to doing that under the old manager. But I thought they were incredible today. And I think what this team is now starting to build is a belief that they can go on and they can beat anyone. And that was one of Liverpool's superpowers under Klopp. It was, in that period in sort of 18, 19, 20, when Liverpool was swatting everyone aside, you sort of felt like there was an air of inevitability every time they took to the pitch, and the fans felt it and the opposition felt it too. And I think Liverpool are maybe starting to get that back. It's still obviously very, very early days, we know that, but so far so good.
So far so good. Top of every league we're in. It isn't a bad place to be, is it?
It isn't. I mean, it couldn't have been, bar Nottingham Forest, which I feel like we're going to be saying till the end of time, aren't we?
Not just you as well.
As a caveat.
That ball fella is on the telly there. Keeps mentioning it as well.
He's got a picture of Nuno on his wall, hasn't he? That he's just going over. Yeah. But that you have to look at that now as the complete outlier, don't you? And I think even just in terms of the performance in that game, that the lethargy and things like that, we've just not seen that since. And maybe that was a little bit of a wake-up call for Slot of how hard this league can be and how hard, it is to win games in the Premier League. And, yeah, he's responded and the team have responded admirably over the last few weeks or so. And I think if you'd have asked any Liverpool fan over the summer, would they expect Liverpool to be where they are right now? I don't think they would, and I think it's a huge credit to the manager. And actually what I really liked as well, at the end of the game, we saw him bring Jarell Quansah on. He plays, less than 10 minutes probably. But to me, that was a really nice sort of man management. He got a little bit of
back on the horse.
Yeah,
back in the saddle.
He got a little bit of stick, Slot. Not stick, but I suppose in a sense it was. Some people found it jarring that he took Quansah off at Brighton last week. But I actually thought he did the right thing doing that.
YouTube Press the button, become a member of the Anfield Wrap from the heart of the city of Liverpool. The best way to enjoy all your Liverpool-based videos, everything you need, every single day. It is the Anfield Wrap.